Hello, I'm Carrie. I cosplay, crochet, and enjoy history bounding, and in this video I'm going to be working on the skirt for the Cuppy Cake. No, Cuppy Cake. Cuppy Cake? Cuppy Cake. All of my pattern pieces are cut out. I did that in my prep video, where I also showed everybody my gorgeous material. Both the material for the skirt and the blouse are cotton. To prep the material, I need to do a zigzag stitch along the cut. Oh, that's a selvage. Where's the cut edge? There's the cut edge. That's a selvage? Yeah, it's a selvage. Okay. That is like the frayest selvage I have seen. But I need to do a zigzag stitch along the cut edge for both of these materials and then throw them in the washing machine. In total, I need about 8.5 inches extra at the waist. Hips are fine, but not the waist.
So there's a front and a back. Divide that in half. I need to add 4 inches, roughly, to eat both the front and the back. Which means, because this is folded in half, I need an extra 2 inches.
So I've just marked out in pin where my cut line kind of is to get the extra little distance that I need. I will be cutting to the outside of that. I'm getting smarter. I'm using pinking shears to cut these out so that there will be less fraying. 63 days until the convention. Now, I'm actually talking to you at the end of the day. I just didn't have time with looking after the young miss to record for you. Progress has been at least made. I did the stay stitching of the skirt. It's only in 2 pieces, the front and the back. So they stitched the very top, did that. The darts are now in at the back of the skirt. Now, before I put the dart in, I pinned them, of course. And then I pinned the 2 sides together, like the back and the front together, leaving an opening to represent the zipper. And then I tried it on carefully because it's pinned together and I didn't want to be stabbed. I was pleasantly surprised that I had actually overcompensated, and there was an extra couple of inches at the waist that I didn't need. So I was able to take out a little bit from each side. And again, I checked it again before I actually finally did the cut. So I pinned where I thought I wanted to cut. Tried it on again. Yes, that worked. I still gave myself a little bit of ease, chopped off my excess. Oh, I pressed the dart. I sewed the darts and pressed the darts. I have also looked at and got my brain wrapped around the geometry of where and how the pockets are going to go in. Figured out, okay, which side do I want the pocket to go in? I figure I'm right-hand dominant. I should put the pocket on the right side. So the left side will be the zipper. I, of course, can't sew now because somebody's sleeping. But I am ready, as I'll ever be, for tomorrow morning to sew the pockets on. Now, when I was first taught how to do pockets, I was taught to sew around the pocket and then stitch it onto the garment and then do stitch one side and then you have to and try to stitch the other side. And I was never very good at that. When I made the red vest for my maternity costume of Thor, I was like, it dawned on me, what if I sewed the pocket flaps to each side? Then when you get ready to stitch them together, instead of just doing a straight seam, you end up stitching, go around the pocket, and then keep going on the seam. I didn't do a great job on that vest. Yeah. Hi, I'm back. I cleaned up the apple juice spill. I really must remember that I talk way too much with my hands and I should not have glasses with liquid in them on my table with tech. The computer, the camera, my phone all seem fine. Thank goodness. Little bit of juice damage to the pattern pieces, like the instructions and the pattern pieces. So they're currently drying over baby fences. The thing that got the wettest was my notebook with everything that I was doing. We'll see come morning how that looks. If I have to, I'll find another notebook and kind of rewrite things out. Yes, I am very old-fashioned in some ways sometimes. I like hard copy, the tangible. I write out what I need to do. I do my check marks or cross it off. So yes, I'm using a notebook for this project. We'll see if it survived. I was talking about the Thor vest and sewing the pockets in. I didn't do a great job on that garment. They were a little misaligned, but for this skirt, I decided to put the pocket in right above the diamonds where you're supposed to match up the two pattern pieces. So they should be in the right place. So I lined up the pocket piece, the bottom of the diamond. Same thing on the other side. So hopefully it works. I'll find out tomorrow. Good morning. 62 days until I have to leave for the convention. The young miss let me go to the sewing machine. Yes, you like the sewing machine, don't you? She does. I sit down, I start sewing, and she's just like all squeeing. It's like adorable. It's like, oh my gosh, look at it! But she let me attach the pocket flap to each side of the skirt. Now let me look at my list. The list, if you recall, got a little soggy. My notebook is definitely a little worse for wear, but thankfully the water damage not so sufficient that I can't read what is on every page. Okay, pocket two sides. Yes, I did that. Next is to sew the right side of the skirt, which is where the pocket is. I will pin this and sew it and see what else is happening. All right, I'm back from the sewing machine. Let's see how this turned out. There's a seam, and up here somewhere. I'm like, why is it not opening? Oh yeah, I put a pin in it. Oh, so it'd be easier to put through the sewing machine and not move around too much. That's a pocket. It's a little snug. I should write that on my pattern. Now the real test, because I used this phone, put it on the paper, traced around it, does it fit in? My phone fits! So it might not be the perfect size, but at least I can put my phone in it. Because I am paranoid, the next thing that I'm going to do is try this on yet again and make sure that it's going to fit. Because I have not cut the excess on the other side yet. There are still pins in here showing where I think I can cut, but I want to triple check. Somebody needs a plate break though. Other side of the skirt is now stitched together. So I have two halves together with an opening for the zipper. I admit it's been a few years since I've put a zipper in. I'm going to need to read the directions a few times to remember how to do this. Like in theory, I remember it, like I kind of remember that it might take a bit. Zipper instructions. That diagram for step 3 is a useful diagram. More useful than my pattern piece. I believe the next step is to like stitch this down, finish the seam, so it'll be like turned under. And I've made regular zippers invisible-ish using the same kind of method and just having a little extra overhang from the zipper so that when it gets stitched up, the material ends up touching in the middle of the zipper. You do have to be careful that you don't end up zipping your material into it, but if you don't have an invisible zipper, I've done that. Make it very incognito. Success! I have half a zipper in. I did not break a needle. It went okay once I got my brain around, like, wait, where am I? Oh wait, okay, got it. I can definitely understand why these instructions say before you do the seam, because it's definitely a little rough having all this material in next to the sewing machine. It would have been easier to put this zipper in without this seam here. Next step, where are we at? Well, it took me a couple of tries. The zipper foot was being cantankerous, but I got it in. Thank you very much, Coates and Clark. Your instructions are clear. Your pictures are useful. Not sponsored. I have a zipper here. Can you see it? It's an invisible zipper. No, I mean, obviously the seam is here. Even on this camera, I could kind of see, yep, there's the seam. But I have to say, that is probably the best zipper that I've put in with the machine. Oh, you're impressed too? Oh, thank you. I have been able to, by hand, put them in very, very neat and tidy, but I'm pretty happy with that. Seams are nicely pressed open. I ran my hem through the sewing machine. I debated doing it by hand, but this is going to be more sturdy, and I don't think it looks that bad from the front. And it was much, much faster this way. Waistband, which means measuring my waist again, just to double check my measurements. Figure out how long I want the waistband to be. There will be a little bit of overlap to cover the zipper, and then hook and eye to close it. And then how high I want it. I do want a fairly big waistband for this, not like itty bitty. So I'm gonna need to do some math and then cut out a rectangle. What do you have, miss? You have paper. Normally paper isn't something you get. I'm gonna go see what she has. 61 days until I leave for the convention. Last night, oh, it took me longer than I care to admit, to figure out how to take in the waist to have it fit the waistband. If this was part of the dress, like it is intended to be, it wouldn't have been a problem because there's a belt over top of that, and it has built-in ease. Well, I want to make sure that the waistband fits me instead of like barely clings to my hips. Eventually I had to just like put it on me and do a few gather stitches and get the gathering just right. Then I pinned the waistband to it. Oh, nah, no, stay away from Mummy's coffee. So the little one can now reach things on the table. Good times. Whew, note to self, keep things away from the edge of the table. All right, back to the skirt. All right, my waistband is mostly attached. I do have, well, at least one spot there. Hold on, let me put a pin in that I need to stitch. Because of course I stitched from the top side, which is visible, and I wanted that to be nice and neat and pretty, and I think I accomplished that. So it is kind of in essence like a top stitch because I have it very close to the edge of the waistband. But it does mean, because I did not do super precise, oh yeah, there's a big long whoop. Yes, I measured it, but I didn't like make sure I had a perfect rectangle and I was folding it perfectly. No, I wasn't. That I knew there was a good possibility that I was going to have this problem. I also, when I tried it on, because of course I wanted to try it on, I wanted the joy of like, oh my gosh, it's coming together, it's becoming a thing. And to figure out how much of an overlap do I need and where to put the hook and eye. That's what that pin is representing. Yes, I know it's a white dot on fabric that has white dots on it, but that's a pin. That is where the material needs to come to. All right, hand stitching time. It's the end of the day, but this is still officially day 52 before the gone. And I have finished the skirt. I have one thing done, wearable, and it's pretty comfortable. This is going to be an amazing, lightweight summer skirt. I can definitely foresee me wearing this a fair bit in warmer weather. Well, I guess that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to see how this project progresses and the end result, if I get it done in time for the convention, make sure you subscribe. Leave me a comment. Kind words of encouragement are always appreciated. Until next time, have fun, be creative, and take care. All I can think about is this one Rachel Maxey video, like Halloween vintage costumes. She's like, why all the cherries? Because they're cute.